Hey, everybody. Welcome to this month. I guess we're in the month of June, the AMA session with your favorite tech experts from all over the globe. We are here today to discuss all things street photography. We'll be leaning heavy into OM3, but ask us your questions about OM5 or maybe EM10 Mark IV, or maybe you're a legacy PenF user. We'd love to help get your questions answered. We are joined today. We've got a little bit of a smaller crew today because we are in the middle of European summer holidays, which sounds glorious, and I'm very jealous and wish I was on vacation right now, but I'm not. But today we have our friend from España, Tito, is going to join us. Hello, Tito. Welcome.
Hello, Michelle. How are you? It's great to be here again. It's a real pleasure. Let's see what can we learn from our audience, because we will try to answer their questions and to clarify their doubts. So we also learn from them a lot. So yeah, it's a really great to
we learned something on every single episode where we figure it out on the fly. So I do think it's a great learning experience from everyone. And then also from Poland, where it's hotter in Poland right now than it is in California, where I live. Somehow,
hello.
Is sweating to death.
Yes. Greetings from Big Owen. I have now 31 degrees here in studio. Outside 33, I think. After this live, I think I will have 35 here in studio.
Everybody's going to need to take a nice cold shower after this live because it's so hot over there in Europe.
Yes.
How many degrees is it where you are, Tito?
Yeah, outside is about 36, 37 Celsius degrees. But I'm underground, so I'm cooler.
I'm only 27 here. It's not too bad. Not too hot yet.
Winter.
Yeah, it's basically winter in California, yes. Well, we've got people joining us from all over. We've got England here. I believe it's really hot in England too, so I'm sorry because I know you guys don't have air conditioning. And we got Saudi Arabia, which I'm also assuming is very hot, and Portugal, so hello. And we've got a bunch of people from the US. We got Denver, Chicago, Missouri. So there's people joining us from all over the world, and we're all
around the world
experiencing summer. Really
I guess, Michelle, people who's attending the live doesn't like the football, right? The soccer.
Oh yeah, you guys are joining
we're in the middle of the World
Cup.
The championship. So
it's right now. Oh, I'm so sorry to anyone who wants to watch the World Cup, but we're gonna learn today.
I'm not following all of the matches, but I think I don't know who's playing right now. In the World Championship, there are matches every day. So,
somebody's watching.
I think this
two
session
screens.
is much more interesting. This is much more interesting than the soccer.
All right. So as you guys know how this works, or unless you're new to joining us, we will go through and answer any questions you might have related to pretty much anything OM system. Today, we're trying to focus a little on street and urban documentation style photography, a little bit of photojournalism. However, if you have a question that you've been dying to ask one of our tech experts, we're here to answer them. So go ahead and put those in the chat as you think through them. And the question that always gets asked, yes, this is being recorded and you can watch it here on our YouTube channel as soon as the live stream ends. So we'll be here for you. And man, it is hot everywhere. Everyone's posting their temperatures too. So first up, we did have a question that popped up early right before we went live, and JTech99 is wondering if either of you have any specific recommended settings for the OM5 Mark II to be able to just kind of shoot from the hip without having to worry about focus. Is there any settings in the autofocus that you would set to? I think it also would help to know what subject you're photographing, because you could, if you're
absolutely that's
people,
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's key, Michelle. But I will. I'm not a street photographer specialized on the street, but I do, and it depends on the subject, obviously. And also, if we talk about the street photography, we are very, very pure street photography. The human beings, the people should be there. This is there is a debate about what's street photography, and I think we should first define what street photography. The street photography can have to include people, have not include people, persons. But in terms of focus, the subject is key. You have it's independently if you have the OM5 Mark II or the OM1, OM3, or whatever you have. The AF settings should be approximately very likely in all of them. If you have people there, you can use the face detection, the human detection. In the models, we have the human like OM1 or OM3. In the rest of the camera, you have face detection, face and eye detection. But if you don't have people there, one of the advantages we have with our system is the depth of field. Because of our sensor, the dimension and the size of the sensor allow us to have more depth of field than you have with another system. What does it mean? That means that if you're working if you want to shoot from the hip and you're working with an F number like 7.18, you will probably have sharp images from the foreground to the background without any problem. And also because of the rotary screen, the LCD screen, you can check where you are framing. So no specific, if you have a subject and you can define the human or face detection, it's great. Otherwise, you can select the AF target, and then you will have probably with enough F number, you will have enough depth of field to have everything in focus, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. And he did follow up and say, no, I think you did a great job, Tito. He did follow up and say it would be for humans. So in that aspect, I would say I agree with Tito, right? Stop down. I mean, even 5.6 if you want a little bit of background blur, but I would stop down. But then I would engage, the larger rectangle of autofocus points, keep it towards the center, and then turn on the human subject detection, seeing how you're trying to detect people. Now, if you're shooting from the hip, you're not going to have a lot of control over which person is in focus, but if you are trying to get that one person that's in your frame, I think that's probably your best bet for that kind of photography.
If I can add something.
I'm bringing another trick from... Okay, go ahead.
Because 20mm is my favorite focal lens for street photography, I will recommend change lens from 21.7 for 21.4. This is our OM System Pro lens, because 21.7, I know this is very good lens, very sharp, very small, but this is very old and very slow autofocus lens. And if you want, don't limit your autofocus in camera, I will recommend change for 71.8 second version water sealed or 21.4 lens. This is one my recommendation. Second recommendation is up autofocus sensitivity +1 and always use continuous autofocus and always use very short sequential shooting series. I have always 5 frame per second in street photography and very short series, for example 3 frames only, limited, because you giving time of autofocus to put on one frame perfect for object what you want, and you also increase chance for this decide moment in street photography if you have 3-5 photos in short series. And this is why I'm using always continuous autofocus, small very fast series, and always I have autofocus sensitivity +1 on street photography. But lens here will be also small problem, because this 20, even this is very good and very sharp lens, but very old. It's very, very slow lens if you're looking for autofocus.
Another suggestion, Michela, in the chat, Gergely Hando is saying set F8 and use manual focus with a pre-focus. And as you know, we have an option in the our focus modes called pre-MF. And if we're talking about the street photography, probably you're watching around you, and you have you are framing something, but you're waiting something to happen. I mean, right. You want to frame a store window with some light, and you're waiting for someone going through your frame. So you can use the pre-MF. You can pre-focus and then wait for the action. That's a good advice.
Yeah, I agree. So kind of in that same vein of what we were talking, I'm bouncing around on the questions in here, everyone, but I will get to them, I promise. But we were just talking about different lenses for this sort of thing. And do you guys have a preference? Which is your favorite lens for street photography, the 17-1.8 or the 20-1.4?
20.
I think that's a very personal. Yeah, 20. In my case, it's also 21.4. Yeah, in the past, I've been for years a PenF user, and now I'm OM3 lover. In my pocket, in my backpack, my small backpack, I had usually I used to have the 17, the 25, 45, and 75, 1.8, all of them. And when 21.4 appeared, because of the way I see, I feel much more comfortable with the feel and the framing of the 20. So most of the time I leave the 17 and the 25 at home, and I go out with the 20 mil, 45, and 75. Yeah,
that's funny.
I've changed the 20 by 17 and 25. Yeah, I feel
that's
much
funny.
more
I'm going to be the odd one out. You're much more comfortable with that focal length, with the view, the field of view?
Yeah, the view of the 20 is much closer than I like, how to say.
That's funny. I'm also from the PenF days, Tito. I'm a huge PenF fangirl. Mine's sitting on the desk over here. But mine's the 17, the 1.8. I like how tiny and small it is. It fits everywhere. And I think it's super sharp, right? And it's fast enough for me to get really good low light. So yeah, I'm going to be the 17. But I appreciate you guys being the 20.
17 for bike trips.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 17 because it's smaller for bike trips with OM3, but 20 for daily. But to be honest, 20 is one of our totally different lenses. If you compare with any 1.2, it's not that sharp like 1.2, but in my opinion, bokeh is more interesting, more contrast, and is also more interesting than 25 and 71.8. It's very, very interesting lens if you look on sharp area and also in background. Also, 20, I very like how it works in sun on frame. Blicks and light leaks is very, very good in 20. I have always in 20 also filter, and black mist filter, 1/4 black mist filter, and it's great. I have the same feeling like with analog lenses, old lenses. Great contrast bokeh with some interesting blurry, but also nice light leaks and nice blurry highlights if I have sun in frame. This is very, very perfect setup for daily photography, for street photography, even for time to time for sport photography, cycling photography, like here. This is from this setup.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess somebody in the chat's already dropped their favorite lens. So I don't know if you own the 17 or the 20, let us know in the comments whether or not you're team 20 or you're team 17, and we'll take a vote at the end and see who wins.
I wouldn't say which lens is better.
Right. It's preference.
It depends. It depends on your taste. It depends on how you see. It depends on what you're looking for, right?
This is why we're doing so much open days, store days, road shows, etc., to test lenses and choose the best for you. In US, in Europe, you have in every country some events where you can test lenses and choose the best one.
Yeah, I agree. So you can always check out our events page. I'll drop a link to it before we jump off here today. But we have all kinds of in-store demos across multiple countries. PJ's always out in Poland, Tito's all around Spain, and well, actually Tito's all around everywhere. And we also do them all over the US. So definitely come by a store day sometime. You can touch and try all the lenses. If you have any questions about the lenses or focal lengths that would suit your type of photography, it's always a perfect way to do it. And somebody just asked if the 75 millimeter is still available. And yes, that lens is still available. You can still get that lens. All right. So here's an interesting one from Dave in Portland. Hey, that's where I'm from. Dave in Portland wants to know if you use any kind of lighting when doing street photography. And if so, what do you use? I don't, but no, that's a personal thing.
Yes, I'm using a lot.
Really, PJ? How do you implement lighting into your shooting?
I have 10 or 11 flashes. To be honest, I am very big fan of every small flash, even manual. I'm very like this LM3, this old flash.
Yeah.
I have some Chinese lamp only flashes only with manual. Now you can choose between multiple third-party company brands with small flashes, only with without TTL, without HS high-speed sync. This is only manual flashes, around $50, 50 euro, and are great. I use it mostly for second curtain pictures on after sunset. When I'm using long time exposure and second curtain for flash, I use some Godox, I use some Viltrox. I have a lot these small flashes because every is different. I have a lot of flashes, small flashes, but this small lamp flash like FL-LM3 is very, very nice. Maybe I will find one picture. But I need.
While you're looking for your pictures, that's why I said it in the beginning. What do you mean? What do we mean when we talk about street photography? You know, because I also use flashes, of course, but for me, this is not mathematical. But street photography for me is when you work with your camera and your lens with natural light, and you're shooting people in the street, and you want to capture the atmosphere, the mood, the lights, the ambient. And once you use a flash, the people you're shooting, the people you're taking pictures, they realize that you are taking pictures. So that's modeling. Or if you're shooting architecture, that's urban. This is a concept. That's why I understand. That's why I ask, what do we understand? What do we mean when we say street photography? And for me, street photography means no light, no artificial light, no LEDs, no flashes. I use them, but not for street, for focus stacking in the street. But for me, street photography is not take pictures in the street. It's the way you're taking the pictures, you know? So everything is valid. Everything is okay. Yeah, this is.
I'm
this
using
is not street photography for me as a concept, you know, PJ.
But this is on street, and it's not posing.
Okay. He's going to defend himself.
Yeah, I will. This is not posing picture, and this is on street on some bike festival. I be there, and to be honest, I am this guy from on this side, like Magnum agency. There is few photographers who using flash and flash directly to the face. I do that always, maybe not always, but very often. I like flash. I like second curtain. I like long exposure in street photography.
I'm gonna be the odd one out again. I don't use flash either, but I also, to Tito's point, for me, street photography is very different. I wouldn't call it my genre per se. I'm much more keen to kind of photographing the details of my experience. So as I'm walking through the streets, like when we were in Lisbon, I actually was with you, Tito. I was photographing doors and like architecture and then like trains going by and things like that. So to me, it's like the atmosphere of the actual lighting conditions are what I want to see. But again, I'm also not a big street photographer. Like I don't want people to come up and randomly take my photo without me knowing, and I don't want to do that to someone else. So I'm always looking for what's the detail in the street that I can photograph. But I love it. I appreciate it. I think there's amazing street photos out there with, just subject matter passing by and like real experiences happening. I feel like it would be a little intense with a flash though, if they didn't know you were.
Yeah, I agree. I think everything can, Michelle, everything can be done. This is just a matter of definition, just a matter of naming.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to, actually, this is a great question following up on that. When you're doing street photography, what do you look for subject-wise, and do you get permission before you photograph people? And is that legal where everyone is? I think that part of the question is just for everyone in the chat to answer.
I never asked for permission. I never. Because it depends. I think talking about the law, I think it's different from country to country, and I'm not really very aware about the law here in Spain. But if you can take pictures, but independently of the law, my experience is I do not ask for permission. I take pictures. When I take pictures in the street photography, I try always to include people on my pictures. And if the subject realizes that I'm taking a picture, I do not run, I do not go away.
I think we lost Tito.
Sorry?
You froze up. You turned into a robot.
Okay. I'm back again. So if they ask me, did you take a picture from me? I would say, yes, I took it. Would you like to see it? We check. Do you want me to delete it? I have never had any problem, but I don't ask. Because if I ask to someone would you like me to take a picture of you? The mood is different, the attitude is different, they are posing, and I don't want the people posing, I don't want the people doing what they're doing. I want to capture the moment, I want to capture the action, But no, I never get permission. Yeah.
I'm asking for permission for publishing after taking picture, not before. Because for my point of view, in Polish law and I think in whole European Union, you can take picture of everybody, but you can't publish it. And there is problem if you want to push this to some competition or push to Instagram. And this is why I'm asking for permission. Mostly in European Union. Different is in Asia because also it depends of culture and on people. If somebody watching me and watching directly to my lens, this is for me some permission for taking picture. But for street photography, I'm time to time asking for permission for only for publication after taking picture. Like showing picture, hey, you look like that. Can I? This is my Instagram, and if somebody say yes, I publish. If somebody say no, this is picture, but only for me.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I agree 100%. And there is a detail. I do not ask for permission, but if I have an image and there's only one people in the picture or a couple of them where they can be recognized, and I'm planning to publish, I'm planning to include in my feed of Instagram, I ask them, hey, would you mind to have, if they say no, I will never post those images. But if there is a crowd, if there's a lot of people, I never get permission for shooting. I never ask for permission for publishing. But it's important to say that I will never shoot kids. I never include kids in my pictures. If there is a kid, the kid is not recognizable.
Yep.
That's important. For me, that's key.
I have the same.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Okay. One sec. I got a couple bird questions in here. We will come back to those. Oh no, my screen just went dark. And then this one I think could be a computational feature potentially, but what settings do you use when standing in sunshine but shooting into a darker doorway?
When standing in sunshine but shooting into a darker doorway.
So you need a huge dynamic.
I have to imagine it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the subject. It depends on what's the main subject. Depends on where you want to have the detail. If you want to have details on the dark, if you want to have details on the highlights, that's the most important thing. If you have a lot of sunshine, you have a lot of very high light, but the dark area is the most important subject. You want to detail. I will blow up the highlights, no problem. But we have, in the terms of computational photography, if the situation with the scene allows you a longer exposure, I always, when I can, I use or live NDE or any other stacking mode in our cameras, high res, live NDE, or whatever, because I expand the dynamic range when I stack images on the camera. Sometimes we say live NDE is for silky water, or no. Sometimes the live NDE is very, very valid, very, very useful to stack images and to expand the dynamic range in order to get in the post-processing to get detail in the highlights and also to get detail in the dark areas. That's one of the advantages we have in our system, computational.
Right. I was thinking it's a JPEG edit in well, no, maybe I'm wrong there, but the HDR mode that's built into the camera, the high dynamic range. So that's essentially bracketing your images. It's going to take 4 images, stack them all together and flatten it into a more even image. So it's going to pull out those shadows and even out the image a little bit more. I'm a big fan of HDR mode, actually. I use it a lot. You can also do it with just exposure bracketing as well, but then you have to edit, and I am lazy and I don't like editing, so I use the HDR mode in camera.
Yeah, it depends if you want to edit the image afterwards, if the HDR provides you the final image on the camera. Right. If you want to work a little bit more detail, you can take those images in the computer and take some time to process them.
Yeah.
Also, you must remember what file do you have. If you have RAW file, you have very big data to edit. But for example, I am shooting mostly in JPEG on OM3, and I have my profile, color profile and mono profile. I set my profile, and there you can use a tone curve to take out details from highlights and take out details from shadows, and to have ready to use JPEG from OM3. I am a big fan of this color profile. Since I have OM3, time between shooting and publishing, or even sending to my wife pictures from holidays, is 10 times shorter, maybe more. After last vacation, I sent everybody images after 1 week from RAW, editing, copy to computer editing, etc., etc. I am in love in this profile, what you can create in OM3, and this is also some solutions for situation like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, even when I was only using my Pen F, but now also with OM3, I have kind of everything dialed into camera the way that I like it. I have my color profile set up And then I have obviously my black and white, my monochrome. And I just kind of bounce back and forth between those. And I find that I really don't edit photos anymore. And I pretty much exclusively shoot JPEG anymore, especially for day-to-day photography, right? Like everyday life, going out, I'm photographing the farmer's market. I'm photographing like my trip and the food or the people that I'm interacting with. 9 times out of 10, the JPEG out of camera with those color profiles is exactly what I wanted. And I don't need to edit anything else. And I actually prefer it that way, because then I can just focus on getting the photos and not having to then dump a memory card into my computer and spend 6 hours editing all the vacation photos.
Yep.
Yeah, same as me. And also, Michelle, some people, it's very usual that people ask, because, the OM3 and OM1 Mark II have same sensor, and they share the same processor. And the people say, if we have the OM1 Mark II, why do you launch the OM3? And they have the same processor and sensor, but they're very, very different cameras, depending how do you shoot, what do you're looking for. And in my opinion, the OM3 has 3 things, very important things, which make the OM3 unique in our system. And they are the 3, the dials, the creative dial in the front of the camera to create your color and monochrome profiles, and also the dial we have. Let me show you. I think I can show you here. Okay, and this dial, because we have here photo, video. Okay, by moving this dial, we have photo, video, and slow and quick motion. Okay. But because we have moved the video option from here to here, now we have here 5 C modes. What does it mean? Let me take the camera in my hand, because what I'm saying is, this is the creative dial, okay? And here we create and select the color profiles and monochrome profiles. But the key is that we can have 5 C modes with 4 color profiles by mode and 4 monochrome profiles by mode. That means that we have 20 color profiles and 20 monochrome profiles. And also the CP button. The CP button, the dial to switch from video to still, and the C modes make the OM3 model, our OM3 camera, unique in the market. Absolutely. And you can emulate. There are also a lot of forums. Many forums are appearing where people is creating profiles, and they are sharing profiles with film manufacturers, emulsions from the past, because this camera is the profile, the user profile is many of them are film lovers, where they have been shooting with analog and they want to have same, apparently very similar finishing of the picture than they had in the film times. So OM3 is it's a camera to really enjoy very much with those kind of things.
And do you know why is most important fact in OM5, second in OM3 in street photography? It's silver.
In street photography.
In street photography. It's silver. It's silver. If you take, for example, strap for any old analog camera from Soviet Union or something like that, like Zenit or old Praktika, nobody will think you have very fast, very accurate camera with great autofocus, but everybody will think, old camera without function. And this is great in street photography. You can use camera and nobody will focus on your black, big camera, bulky camera.
Yeah, no, I agree. When I used to go out all the time with my Pen F, people would stop me all the time and ask about my film camera. And somebody just actually said that in the chat too, their OM3, everybody asks about their film camera. It's nice because it's almost incognito. You don't look as conspicuous because everybody is assuming you're just kind of into retro vintage photography and not that you're taking 120 frames per second of action. Okay, I guess we should get on to some more questions. Sorry, we've gone off on a tangent because that's what we like to do, because that's why we're tech experts. But I just want to point out, I do it every time, but I love seeing the engagement in the comment section and you guys helping other people out. I know there's a whole discussion going on editing right now, and it's just really awesome. I always want to shout out that we have a really amazing community of photographers who are always willing to help each other out, and that's super great. Thank you. Shout out to who called out Workspace in the editing. We do offer a free software. It's called Workspace. It behaves similarly to Lightroom. It does have a lot of features that are built in for our cameras, like the color profiles. You can load color profiles and make adjustments that way. You can also do a lot of bracketing work and stacking work within it. So it's a great free software if you're just starting out with editing and you own an OM camera. I would definitely look at getting OM Workspace as you venture into that world of editing all your new great, wonderful photos.
Sorry, Michelle, just 10 seconds. Just to say, if you have a colleague, if someone has an OM3 and you have a colleague with an OM3, you want to share any color monochrome profile, it's so easy as just share the JPEG file taken with the color or monochrome profile and with our free of charge software OM Workspace. You can load that profile into your camera without any problem. So it's really, really easy, and it will make our OM3 community much bigger and much more rich, much richer.
Even if your friend have Pen F and you send you JPEG, yes. You can take profiles from Pen F to OM3.
This is true. I loaded all of my Pen F profiles over to my OM3 through Workspace. It was great. I was like, because I did not want to have to manually go through and do the whole color dial all the way around. That is awesome. Somebody threw the link for OM Workspace. My thoughts are that OM Systems' one and only Jim Harper is helping me out on YouTube right now. I'm putting links into the chat. So thank you to our friend Jim Harper for always helping us out in the background. I didn't even know he was here, but hopefully it's him and not somebody else. And then, somebody just asked, is OM Share OIS app different than Workspace? And yes, so OM Workspace is an editing software that goes it was Jim. He said I caught him. OM Workspace is a software that's for your PC or your Mac, your computer, and it's for deeper editing of photos. OI Share is more for either remote photography or transferring photos off your camera to your phone. You can do some light edits in there as well. But they're two different softwares, but they are both free and they both work with your OM system camera. And Olympus cameras. All right. I had a question. Somebody wanted to know, would you ever leave your OM1 at home and take an OM5 out instead for street photography? I would.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I would have both, I will do it. I will use OM1 for different type of different kind of photography than the OM5. OM5 for me is more suitable for street. Absolutely.
Yeah. My OM1 is my bird camera. I take it out when I'm going to go birding or I want to take those types of photos with my telephoto lenses. But when you're out on the street, for one, you're carrying stuff around. You want to have something a little bit more lightweight that you can kind of tuck away quickly too. And I just think, it's also a little bit more inconspicuous than the OM1 is clearly a large pro camera. Calls a lot more attention.
And also they are talking about the OM5, but if you will have the OM5 Mark II, for example, the OM1 Mark II includes the CPU button in the back side. And I use very often the Live ND when I'm on the street, and for example, I have a very nice wall or building with graffitis or whatever, and I want to have the people blur moving. I use the Live ND to extend to make the shutter time longer, and that's just by pressing the button, moving a Live ND 2, 3, 4, and I do not need more move or change more settings than that. But very, very, very fast. Yeah.
I will not change my OM1 for OM5, but for OM5 too. Because
Yeah, there we go.
Because OM5 is camera with alt menu, and this is why I have my memory buttons. I know where is everything is. To be honest, I forgot about alt menu from EM1
Right.
second, and now I'm big fan of this new menu. And privately, I'm using only cameras with this menu. This is why, yes, I can change for OM5 second for street photography, for OM3, but never for OM5. Even it's a very good camera still, but this one fact is, for me, is the big problem.
Yeah, and also OM5 is a great camera, absolutely, but OM5 Mark II changed basically in some things like the CPU button and also the menu, as you say. What does it mean? That the OM5, you have to assign functions to the buttons. You have to customize C modes depending on the way you're shooting. But with the OM5 Mark II, behind the CPU button, you have all of the computational modes. The multiple exposure, I use a lot the multiple exposure when I'm doing street photography, double exposures. So if you have the OM5 with the classic version of the menu, you have to assign those functions to buttons. In the case of the OM5 Mark II, you only have to press the button or press and hold to change the function. It's much faster and much more. It's much easier with the OM5 Mark II.
Awesome. Thanks, Tito and PJ. You guys are both doing great. I'm just like uplifting today. I must be in a good mood. Everybody's doing such a good job. We're learning together. This one's a good one because there is some capabilities for it. So do OMSystem Pro Zoom lenses have macro functions? Well, we do have a Pro macro lens, specifically the 90 millimeter, but for close focusing, do you have a go-to Pro lens that you like for close focusing?
I would say as you said, the 90 mil is the only Pro lens, Eco Pro lens as macro, specifically as macro. Correct. But having said that, we have a very, very close minimal focus distance, and some of the lenses, the latest 50 to 200 mil, for example, if you use the MC converters, the MC 1.4 and the MC 20, the 2x converter, you're really, really macro. You have a really, really macro lens. So the rest of the Pro lenses, depending on the focal length, you have a very, very close minimal focal distance. Not macro, because if we consider macro as 1 by 1, some of them, they will not reach that so close distance if you are not using a converter, but we are much closer than any other system, and we have much more depth of field than any other system. So yeah, we have a 90 mil. This is a Pro lens. Some Pro lenses can be used as macro if you use the converters, but in any case, most of them, the tele lenses, are very, very close to macro.
Yeah, I utilize the 12 to 40 millimeter a lot when I'm doing close focus. Obviously not true macro, but you're getting a pretty decent magnification and it focus. Even at 40 millimeters, it focuses really close off the front of the lens. So it's a good, I mean, the 12 to 40 f2.8 is probably one of the greatest just everything lenses. It does pretty much anything for day-to-day photography, that's for sure, but you can get pretty close with it. But I know PJ's more of a 12 to 100 guy.
Yes. 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 But because Marcin is from Poland, I see name and surname. Marcin, you should find my live with Lukas Burzycki, our ambassador, from premiere of 50 to 200. Lukas showed there some pictures from very weird setup because no only 52-200 with teleconverter, but 52-200 with some extension lens tubes. And it's very interesting setup for close-ups, for macro, for bigger insects. You can take photos from bigger distance, but also with quite nice magnification. Not only MC20, but also extension tube is very good solutions for some lenses, telephoto lenses in our portfolio. For example, 52-200. Lucas showing pictures on this live. This live is on this YouTube channel. You can find it without problem.
Thanks. I hope he's really from Poland,
Yeah,
otherwise.
Yeah, I know.
He could be American with a Polish name.
Yes, but yes, it's possible.
You'll have to let us know where you're really from. Oh my gosh. Guys, I am bad at multitasking today. What is the smallest size interchangeable lens camera that OM System makes currently?
EP7.
Pen EP7.
Right. We don't have that in America. We got left out of that one. So if you're in North America,
I like it.
EM10 Mark II for America.
Yeah. And Dave's in Portland, so he is he's only got the EM10. So that's our smallest one in the US. But the EP7, remind me, that one does not have the viewfinder, right? That's just
no. Yeah,
traditionally
the difference between OM cameras and pen cameras is on the viewfinder. Except in PNF. PNF is a category by itself because it's a pen with viewfinder, but OM cameras with viewfinder, pen cameras without viewfinder.
But EP7 have the same color profile like PNF and OM3. And it's only two cameras. We have EM10 and EP7 with screen not rotate, but shifting only.
Yeah, tilt
screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen so many comments about a monochrome sensor. I don't know where that came from or why everyone is asking for it, but I appreciate that you're asking. We will take that feedback from you guys because a lot of people have commented on it, but no, we don't have any knowledge of anything along those lines in the works currently.
But in any case, Michele, we don't have plans about that, but we cannot talk about our plans. In case we had plans, we couldn't say it because if we say we should kill them.
Wait, no, don't kill me. I didn't say anything.
no, not you.
Oh, if we tell you, we'd have to kill you. Yeah, I think there's a legality thing here that we can't get into. Quick question about weather sealing. How weather sealed is the 100-400 Mark II?
IPX1.
Yeah, it's IPX1.
IPX1.
So basically, it can be. What is the time limit on that? I can never remember. It's continuous water for a certain amount of time.
To be honest, I don't know how is the limit, but I know I taking picture from this lens by whole night time lapse on heavy rain without problem, and it's working still.
Yeah, I would say IP the 2 digits IP53 5. 5 is 5 in a scale of 6, and 3 is in a scale of 8. You know what? But IPX1 doesn't mean. IP53 5 is related to splash, water splash, and dust. 5 is about dust, and 3 is about water liquids, filtration, etc. And IPX1, it doesn't mean that the lens or the camera is not with the seal for dust, but it's not certified externally by the independent certifying company, whoever it is. But it is dust protected, is water protected, and also freeze protected, as we have done, we have had in the past. So now we can say that most of all of our pro lenses on the OM1 Mark II, OM1 Mark I, OM5, OM5 Mark II, OM3, they are IP53. And probably, very likely, our past cameras which were certified IPX1, if they have done tests for IP whatever 5.3, 4, whatever, probably they will be higher IP certified than IPX1. They have the 100 to 400 Mark II is IPX1 because it has the ID card for IPX1, but maybe it's higher. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, PJ.
I'm sorry for my English. I'm improving my English.
Yeah, I push my cameras through the weather sealing a lot more than I think they're officially rated for sometimes. I have been out in torrential downpours. We got hit in a monsoon in Florida, photographing the races and just kept shooting the whole time. I didn't even think about it. And it was funny to see the other brand guys all running up into the stadium to hide their cameras. I push our weathers. Actually, when you guys go to events, do you dump water on cameras all the time? Because I have people that don't believe our weather sealing, and I'm like, no, they're rated. We actually have these officially rated. And when they fight me on it or fight back, I'll literally just take my water bottle and dump the whole thing on the camera and be like, I told you, it's fine.
Yeah. I do it not every day, but when I'm in.
Right.
I've been shooting in dusty environments or racing, motorcycles or biking or whatever. And I also use a spray, a jet stream, not much pressure, but when I spray.
Yeah.
Or my shower. Sometimes I take the shower with my camera. With my camera hanging.
Tito!
Yeah, I take the camera with me hanging from my neck, and I take the shower with it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing the same. I have I have T-brusher only for camera in my bathroom.
That is hilarious. This just crossed into a different type of Ask Me Anything session, I think.
I will show you why my water sealed camera is one of the most important for me function of our camera, because I'm doing pictures like this.
Yeah, because you're a very wild, you're a very wild guy.
This is from very old camera because this is EM1 second or EM1 first one. I don't remember, but
maybe X.
No X. This is before
No
X.
X.
This is 714 lens, and this Jeep passed me around 6 centimeter. But this is, of course, pro using on some rallies, etc. But for me, for example, in daily life, water sealed camera is also very important because even in holidays like this, I want taking pictures of my son half of meter on a swimming pool without problem. This is from OM3 and 17 1.8. Without problem, I have more interesting than normal pictures from in only vacation, and I can take pictures in pool, I can take on beach, I can take everywhere where I want, not only where camera is limited. This is why water sealed for me is one of the most important function in cameras, and I'm only using water sealed lenses and water sealed cameras.
Agreed.
Fully agree.
All right, we're going to change gears so hard here because there's always at least one person that has a really random question off topic, but that's okay. So what is the experience using the I'm assuming OMSYSTEM 300 millimeter f4 for bird photography? Do you guys remember when that was our gold standard of bird photo lens? I had that with me everywhere, all of our birding walks.
I love that lens.
I loved that lens before 50-200.
Yeah, this is true. I like my 50-200 now.
I changed whole my setup for only 50-200. This is the best lens for everything: sport, beard, macro. I have everywhere with 2 teleconverters. My favorite telephoto lens. 300 is great, but 50 to 200.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the system, when we started with the mirrorless camera, we had the 12 to 40, 40 to 150, and the 300 mil f4. At the very beginning, it was the typical gear for nature photographers, and the converters. We had no longer lenses. But now the option, the collection, the family, the lineup of the lenses is much larger. And as BJ says, the 50 to 200 f2.8 wide lens is absolutely amazing. 300 f4, I love it. I still use it, and it's sharp as a knife.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sharp as a knife. But we have to recognize that if you're a nature photographer for birding, it's a prime lens, and the zoom is in your legs, and sometimes you can't use your legs to be closer or to go far away. So, but my experience can't be better with the 300 mil.
Yeah,
my experience. But now I use it much less than than in the past. Now the 50 to 200, my key lens for birding. Together the 150 to 400, obviously.
Well, yeah, the 150 to 400 is the best.
Unique,
very unique
in the world.
lens. Yeah. Is an absolute beast of a lens. I'm still a fan though of the 300 f4. I used it for years when I used to lead birding workshops, and it is, like Tito said, so sharp. And the bokeh is amazing. Like the background blur you could get with that lens is just unreal. I got some of my best bird photos with just most gorgeous backgrounds. But yes, you have to zoom with your feet, and sometimes there's not a lot of room to move around for your subject. But and then
the 150 to 400 is absolutely amazing. I use it for birding, for wildlife, and also for astrophotography, for silhouettes and astrophotography. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Oh, I've actually used the 300 recently for some astro stuff too, actually. But follow-up question to that, somebody else asked, you guys all have very unique usernames. I don't know how to pronounce any of them, so I'm just not saying them today, but I appreciate you being here anyway. So the 50 to 200 or the 100 to 400 Mark II, is 200 enough for birding? See, we went all the way back into birding. But is 200 millimeter enough for birding? I think it depends on what kind of birds you're photographing, honestly. Songbirds, no.
I think it's asking about birds in the street.
Yeah.
Today's a street photography. The birds in
Pigeon.
It's perfect for pigeon photography.
Yeah, it depends. 50 to 200. One of the things it has is you can use the converter without any problem. Obviously, you will lose one step if you step with the 1.4 and 2 steps with two times converted. But if let's imagine, let's do a calculation.
Right.
50 to 200 is equivalent to 100 to 400 mil f2.8 in full frame systems. Okay, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in full frame systems. But if you take the MC20, we are talking about 100 mil f2.8 to 560 mil f5.6 all around in one lens with one converter. It doesn't exist in any other system. So what's the best? Obviously, the investment is different. 50 to 200 is more expensive, but also provides more versatility, is much more versatile than the 100 to 400. Before we were talking about the close-up, should the close-up photography. Yeah, it depends on how much you want to invest, but 200 mil is enough, depending on which birds, where are the birds, how far are the birds, yeah, how big are they, vultures, pigeons.
Yeah, and pigeons will walk right next to you, so.
Yeah, 50 to 100, definitely. I'm sorry, Michaela, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, just to finalize that 50 to 100 for me is key. Is great for birding to gather the teleconverter because this lens accepts very well the converters.
I actually
50 to
had
100.
my 40 to 150 with me in Norway doing street photography, and I have a ton of bird photos from that because they have really different birds than we do, obviously, because different region. But I got to photograph some life birds that I've never seen before in my life that were just kind of bouncing around at these little patio bars and restaurants we were at. So it was, if your birds are that close and there's food involved, yes, you can use the 50 to 200.
Absolutely.
Sorry, PJ, I cut you off. I've got a lag today.
No problem. For me, 100 to 400 is, if I can compare in car, this is great family car only. 50 to 200 is like Ferrari, or for people in the US, muscle car. This is great, much more fun to use. It's faster, it's better, it's sharper, it's the best lens in most vertical lens, universal lens in our portfolio, to be honest. 2 teleconverters, 50 to 200, and you can take pictures, everything in wildlife, what you want. Birds, wildlife, animals, landscapes, macro, one for rule them all.
One lens to rule them all. I like it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're actually overtime tonight, which is impressive. There were a lot of really good questions. Go ahead.
I have 52 degree now in the studio.
Wait, 32 in your studio? Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
One light. I need water.
Yeah. You need to just go take like an ice bath, do a cold plunge. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for taking our street photography session and turning it into a bird photography session. That's what we love about everyone out there in the comment section. You guys do such a great job. We really, really, really appreciate you joining us every month. And we will be back next month with a whole new topic. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. Sorry. But we will be back. We are always the last Tuesday of the month, same time, same bat channel. We will be here for you. And we look forward to learning with you again. So have a wonderful night, everyone.
See you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye for now.